Starting live, there we are. There's 1 second. All right. We'll click this on over here. And get back to, how do I get back to Facebook?
Yeah, this thing has a mind of its own.
There we go. And let's see, it should have said I went live. Okay. Anyway, hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf, that's Mike Murburg, and here we are in the sacred grounds of Area 52. It's June 10th, 2020. We've been covering the current events the last several weeks, and it's kind of hard not to. So hope everybody's doing okay. Hope everybody's keeping it together. You really do have to spare yourself some time away from that light box, either your computer or your television. We've talked about this before on the show. Just the frequencies that we're experiencing as human beings for the first time ever. We're constantly walking through all these microwaves, and we have all these frequencies that are actually very, very foreign to us human beings. But in the last 40 years, yeah, I don't know, depends on how far you go back to the radio frequencies. So we've been walking through these things for a long time, but now it's even more intense with your microwave, with your cell phone, with everything. Man, oh man, it's just amazing the fatigue that puts you in. But don't worry about it, Mike.
Yeah, I have no idea how to.
Yeah,
it's shameful.
Well, it's okay.
I don't know how to use an iPhone. It's just really too complicated for me.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. We ain't worried about that.
Okay.
Just everybody. Hope everybody can hear. Hope everything's working out technically. But here we are, folks. So, like I was saying, you are this flesh that we live in, this bone structure that we live in, the spirit that encompasses it, is being challenged on a vibrational level. Not even counting what you're thinking. Not even you processing a half hour's worth of riots on television and people screaming and all that stuff. Without that, just the very vibration of all this equipment and stuff that we're around these days is absolutely amazing. And it's very, very fatiguing for people. Mike, I'm gonna check and make sure we have audio.
Okay.
So I know we've been talking about being stressed out, and what have you been doing, man? You always have a calm demeanor.
Because I've learned how to meditate.
Yeah.
And I really don't get too upset about things.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Like normally I'd be upset that I can't bring you up on my iPhone because I'm usually here, so I don't have to watch.
Okay. Well, that's no problem, man. I'm just double checking, make sure this light on this thing. Can you let us know if we got sound? I'm sorry to be so amateurish, but that kind of goes with this territory. Somebody text Mike and say we got sound. There's 10 people watching. Thank you very, very much. We'll be right back here. Here we go. I'm just going to forge on. Somebody would be telling us that we have no sound or something. So let me reflect a little bit. I'll try to find my thing. Well, we don't want any dead air though. Well,
It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's
gotta speak up a little.
Can't always be live.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a shameful week. It's just really sad. I learned, as a Christian that every knee should bend at the name of Jesus. I'm not much of a Bible thumper.
Right.
But it basically tells me you don't bend your knee to anybody except God. The deity you worship or whatever you.
That's true.
call
Well,
it.
yeah. Thank you, Pam. We do have a confirmation on sound.
Say hallelujah,
Beautiful,
brother.
Pamela. That just makes me breathe just so much better. That whole scenario of kneeling before people, it is biblical, okay? And the washing of feet is biblical.
I'll wash a guy's feet before I kneel to him.
Well, yeah.
Gotta put his feet up though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Can't make
kneeling
me chase
to
you while
feet.
you're walking. Come here, come back.
Put your feet up. Put your feet up.
Stop, so you slow down. So those two things are biblical. Consequently, the way they're being presented, though, is not the biblical adaptation of foot washing. Kneeling actually has Masonic Lodge roots. It has some symbolism there as well. If you're tracing the Masonic links to all these things that are going on, and they are many. Those of you who know me know I've been kind of tampering with that for almost 30 years now, and there's the signs and the symbols are everywhere. So it's not just coincidence, and a lot of this stuff is very, very orchestrated. Something all this stuff, there's just a million pieces to this puzzle, and I'm not saying that I've put them all together exactly the way they're supposed to go, but I can definitely see links between all these associations. Even like last week we mentioned the Tavistock Institute. This is social engineering for the masses. They've already told us how to think and respond and feel. In the advertising that they do on television, back in the early 20s, before the advent of Ivy Lee and Edward Bernays and the influence of the propaganda companies stepped in, when somebody was advertising a product, they would tell you a lot about the product. They go, well, this particular corn husker can husk 48 ears of corn every 10 minutes, and it's a high quality brass driven corn husker. Okay?
Don't stick your arm in there.
Don't stick your arm in there, leave your digits away, please. But anyway, and then the propaganda people, the mindset people, the public relations end of it, and public the envisioning of what you think of it with a company, they started twisting it around. Now they have, think how much extra time you'll have after you use your automatic corn husker. And then you can even use the corn silk for the beautification of your face.
Well, it's all advertising. You remember you're a car guy.
Yeah.
Remember the Cordoba?
Yeah, the Chrysler Cordoba.
Yeah, what a dump car. I mean, you get Ricardo Montalban selling it's rich colored Corinthian leather, and you're buying a car that won't run after 100,000 miles, and it's all over the highway after 40. But once again, they're selling the sizzle and not the steak. And if it's a Cordoba, it's a hamburger. It's not even steak.
I do remember that the Chrysler Cordoba was one of those giant, long-nosed, short-deck, personal luxury cars.
Yeah.
Okay. Ricardo Montalban, who was the guy on Fantasy Island. Right?
Yeah, and the pain boss, the pain.
He had this beautiful accent, and he'd go, "You must sit in the rich Corinthian leather." And rich Corinthian leather have been, those three words operate together all the time.
Yeah.
And they weren't the best cars in the world, though. You're exactly right, Mike.
And the leather stunk too.
They bought cheap hides from,
from Corinth, Nebraska.
Funny. So, yeah, and I think if you looked in the, it said Corinthian style leather. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a disclaimer word, and that's what you're looking at now. I mean, we're just so okay. Here, if you're feeling a little weird, don't feel weird, because we are too. Okay, we're as baffled by this new level of vibration and frequency. But I'm gonna tell you something good at the end, that we're confused too, man. I'm 60 years old. I've been around, man. I've seen places. I know people. I've done things.
And we're both looking for our fathers to give us the answers.
We both, yeah, before the show, we both mentioned, man, we miss our dads. And Mike mentioned he wished he had asked more questions, and me too. You know, I lost my dad 10 years ago. Well, I didn't lose him. I know where he's at. He moved on, man. He's in the fifth dimension. He was a real sweet soul and a great guy. And between he and my mom, they gave me just such a beautiful sense of humor and outlook on life. We're not brilliant people, but we're deep people. So anyway, all that phone, microwave, TV, Wi-Fi, all those signals flying around, you're walking through them, man. They're permeating your skin. You know, like tonight, I'm driving a Toyota Prius, and those things have like a vibrational level too that's unusual if you're not used to it. Some people, they buy a Prius and they trade it in for reasons they don't know why, and there's a lot of electricity in that car. And some people are just incompatible to it. Most people you never even notice. And the damn things get 52 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
But with good safety, you know.
Yeah. But some people just have to, they're just not smug enough, so they.
Well, it is. It's one of those made up words. It's like Camaro.
Yeah.
You know, there is nothing such thing as a Camaro.
Yeah.
And there is no such thing as a Prius. But they took the word pious and premium, and they blended them. So there really is. It's a psyop on the naming of that car. But I can tell you, I know a fair amount about the Toyota Prius, or Prii if you have more than one. They're really actually very good machines if you're not intolerant to the vibrational level that they put out, because of there's a huge battery buried under the back seat. And of course, there's also a 12-volt battery under the hood, a starter motor battery. Or actually, sometimes they're all the way. Yeah, they're in the back. Everything's in the back. That's right. But there's a little jump start thing under the hood. That's two little tabs. So I need to lift the hood and jump start it. So, but the battery technology on them is amazing. But like I said, it does create a lot of vibration. So between all that, okay, you're walking through this 5G, you're walking through the 4 LTE, you're walking through 3G, 2G, you're walking past your microwave, they're working on the power pole outside, you rode around with your friend all day in a Prius. Man, you're really being assaulted at your core, at the core of your being. You're being vibrationally assaulted. Now, here comes your brain, okay? You're looking at this news broadcast or this internet report or whatever, and it's all these people being really cruel to one another. And you're just like, and most people don't want to see that in real life. They'll watch it in a movie, kind of with this weird thing that it's fake, okay? But that's also part of the desensitizing that we've been going through for many years. Yes?
What's a movie?
What's a movie? It's a really long sitcom.
Oh, I heard there used to be places called cinemas where they used to be able to watch these things you call movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen a good movie in a long time. But
I haven't seen Cinema open in 4 months.
yeah, oh yeah, that part of it.
Yeah.
The cinema is closed.
That's right.
We are fumigating.
No popcorn for you.
No, you step out. You keep your $18. So, anyway, and the movies. That's an excellent, segue into another level of it. We've all been told what's going on already through the movies. Everything you see on that television. Right now you're experiencing the Jerry Springer show. You're experiencing episodes of Cops, and you're also experiencing The Purge. All kind of balled into one thing, but it's a live operation. So there are real people getting hurt. There are real people anguishing beyond all levels. Suicides, I know, are picking up. And that's probably the beam of truth. That's the reason Mike and I wanted to do this show. And if you're really feeling down, man, and I can get it. I understand how you could really, really feel horrible right now and hopeless. Single people living by themselves. They haven't worked in a while. They've been trapped at home with their television and their internet. It's no wonder you're weak. You need to be out with people. You need to be in the sunshine. You need to be breathing oxygen. But you're walking around your house with a mask on by yourself. They're getting to you, man. You really need to back up. And I'm sorry, loneliness is a very, very hard thing to combat sometimes. I'm like you, Mike. I'm hardly ever lonely, but I really like being alone too. You know what I mean? And it's got its little waves. There's sometimes you're all by yourself for the day, and you go, man, I wish somebody was here sharing this with me or whatever. But for the most part, how's that saying go? It's better to be in a bad. Or go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I wasn't going to say anything, but now that you've invited me to engage.
I'm sorry.
No, part of the mastery of life is learning how to relate to you're being alone. You can be alone without being lonely. You don't let. There's a great 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and there's a character in this book, and he loses his relatives and his son and everybody else, and he used to make little fishes as gifts to people. He'd pound them out of gold, and he'd have chains, and he would give them to people. And after enough people in his life died and enough bad things happened to him, he broke, and he spends the solitude in his life not relating to other people, but constantly creating these fish over and over again, never giving them to anybody, and then melting them down and doing it over and over and over again.
Wow.
And that's the kind.
What was his name?
He's called the Colonel in the novel.
The Colonel. Okay.
Yeah. But that's what you have to avoid. You have to avoid being broken by loneliness. That's difficult. Yeah. That's why I'm gifted here. I have gardens and flowers and things to plant and dig and cut back and create an environment around myself that is conducive to peace.
Yes.
Which is what the Tao teaches us.
Well, Area 52 is a very, very peaceful place, and it's always a privilege to come out here. This is where we have the HICE, the Human Initiated Contact Experience meetings, or CE5s, same thing. Almost the same thing, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, we had an impromptu meeting out here. I got together with the court, and it was really kind of nice, and it was very strange because it was raining outside. What we did is we ended up doing a CE5 inside and inviting non-human intelligence in. It was very uncanny because all of us got full body chills and goosebumps at the same time.
Wow.
And yeah, those kind of signs are important.
Yes.
There were some other things that had gone on, but it was very friendly. It was very eye-opening because I'm usually out there teaching people how to look to the skies and bring them on in.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a very special kind of weekend. It was impromptu, and what you do learn is that it's beyond the UFOs. It's beyond those kinds of sightings, and it's an inward journey. And when you're with people that understand what's going on and understand you and understand themselves, there was no any kind of animosity or any of the negative energies that was going on out in the rest of the world.
Yes.
And it was all positive and all good, and that's why I can't recommend learning how to do the contact work yourself, and find other people that want to do this as well, because the vibrational level of those people is the highest you will find anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's how you get out of, you're feeling low and the fish don't bite,
Yeah, that's true. And that is part of the focus of tonight's show, too, is, don't let your world get small. Really, I mean, get up and get away from that damn television. Go take a walk, get some fresh air, take a break from it. Read a book, do whatever you got. Take showers, man. I've been taking showers a lot. They're really helpful.
What are you, 12?
I know. Yeah, I know. Boy, those are the days. But anyway, it's something that you're supposed to be here now. There's no mistakes, really. Everything is going the way it should, or the way it's going to. There's little struggles between good and evil. Good wins most of the time, but evil has its seasons and some very strong innings. And part of the things that this is all based in is deceptions. And you're only trying to deceive somebody when you're trying to get over on them, when you're trying to get something from them that you didn't earn. So that's what we're experiencing right now. We're experiencing the hustle. The American worker literally carries a huge load of the whole world's income, money flow. Our social security numbers are our inventory numbers. We're earners, we're taxpayers. We are a big gear in this machine. And consequently, somebody don't know how to shift, and now all the gears are being ground and there's stuff coming apart, and we're due for a rebuild, but I don't trust the mechanic. I've seen his work. He's a schlock. So, as these things happen, just remember the creator of the universe, who makes that entire universe out there underneath that palm tree in your yard, or out there underneath the doghouse. There's a whole nother world out there, man, totally in control of our creator spirit, the force of life. All this stuff is happening. You can choose for yourself higher vibrations, sweeter vibrations, frequencies that more suit you. Okay? If you're trying to do that, don't spend too much time watching the bad news. It's so counterproductive. I do it. I'm putting shows together, and obviously friends getting in touch with me over, they got questions. Lou, why is this happening? And all I can offer is my humble opinion, hence the name of the show. It's imho.love, because love is the end. Love is it's what it's all about. It's the actual life force. So that being the high mark, okay. And here we are trying to struggle up past this midfield here. Take a little time away from the media. Do spend some time by yourself. If you're spending too much time by yourself and you're in okay health, do go meet somebody. Go somewhere. Go outside. Go walk around. And it's a little different vibe these days. The people aren't, people are a little bit on guard. I haven't been wearing a mask, and it's about half and half wherever I go. But the respiratory problems that the mask can create for me, versus the fact that the mask would actually stop my transmitting disease, is too lopsided for me to wear the mask. And I'm not in solidarity with the symbolism that it carries.
Yeah. Whenever I have to wear one, I don't get on my knee to put it on.
No, we don't do that. We're still trying to, a lot of people really resist change, and a lot of this change is worth resisting. It wasn't perfect before, but there was a lot of things that were okay.
We've had a made-up epidemic. We've had the boogeyman's been out there frightening us for years. We've had the war on terror. Show me terror walking down the street, and then I'll be afraid of it maybe. But we've been conditioned to be afraid, and then because we're afraid, we've been conditioned to immediately fall in line without questioning authority. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do. Once you start accepting authority, you're cooked. Without question. You're accepting it, and you're being told what to do, and you follow immediately. You're heading to the slaughterhouse.
Well, we're good little lieutenants. We do what we're told more times than not. And I'm not talking for everybody, but I'm just talking in general. A majority of people do what they're told, especially from authoritarian figures. Someone that has authority over you, it's a powerful thing. And one of the reasons we're easy to move is because we've been trained so well. We've been told how to behave by the television for decades. What makes you cool, what makes you uncool, what you're supposed to eat, even whether it's good for you or not. We've been dealing with the brainwashing for many, many, many years. And a lot of us are weak. We've been conditioned outside of our initial spirit, our basic spirit, and we've become this citizen, picking little pieces of information that we like, and we patch them on ourselves, and we ramble through this life. And the reason you may be feeling a little grieved is your natural person, the bearer of your soul, is trying to emerge because it's being vexed by all these unusual and strange vibrations, be they through physical vibrations, mental vibrations, or actual human vibration, and watching people scream at each other and yell at each other and throw bricks at each other. Man, oh man, that's really, it's so damn primal. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that way, but there's a huge orchestration of making it all happen this way. So if you have the blessing of being able to observe this stuff from afar and not actually have it in your neighborhood, okay, you need to be thankful but observant as to what's going on. And one of the amazing things that I noticed was every time there was going to be a protest riot site, mysteriously blocks of bricks and stones were left there in the area. And they go, oh, well, that's for construction. Well, there's no construction going on the corner of 5th and Main.
Well, I just thought they were mementos that we could take home with us. But I was there.
Joey, come here and sign my brick. So, the anger is being well orchestrated, and they're coming at you. They got money, man. They got media exposure. You really do have to sort through the din. There's a huge confusion, anxiety. There's all this stuff flowing in huge pools around you, and you have to sort yourself out from there. So we always say, remain in prayer, remain in your meditations, remain in your peaceful state, and you do have to do these things for yourself to preserve your sanity. Last week, after watching all this, I'm a church boy from a long time ago. I've had my seasons. I was the associate pastor of a biker church. I did my time.
Is that because your Harley wasn't big enough?
My Harley wasn't big enough, so I needed some Jesus. But the reason I was included in those kind of groups is I loved the spirit in those groups of people. And last Sunday over at the River Church, my friend Caroline and I went to the service, and it was nice being there with a group full of people that were like-minded, that we were trying to forget what's going on. We were actually, praying, and really, really nice people, black people, white people, yellow people. There was literally, it was every kind of person that you would encounter was there that night. And this is the guy, Rodney Howard Brown, that got arrested for opening church early. So, and this is an outdoor thing. They got 3 screens and all astroturfed out. It's very nice. And just to be amongst groups of calm and peaceful people was very refreshing. It was very nice. And the people were great. And I'm going to go back. I don't know if I'm going back this week, next week, whatever. But meeting with those people is very, very important. And churches, I'm telling you, man, you're kind of dropping the ball. You need to rev up. There is a big separation between church and state, and now's the time to put some magic marker on that line. Your people need you. I can tell you. It was a thirst that your people are having. And there's a lot of people watching the podcast tonight that, actually this is a video cast, not just a podcast. Watching the video cast tonight that need that touch. Whether you're old, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're young, you're feeling a little unsure, A, because of the constant vibrations, B, everything that's being filtered into your head, C, you're feeling in yourself that there's changes coming and you don't know what to do. So take all that and put a top on it, okay? Now, above that is where we need to ascend to. We need to be prayerful and peaceful with ourselves, meditative with ourselves, do your breathing exercises every day. You absolutely have to have it. You have to have your breathing exercises. They will help you so much. And the time that you take to elevate yourself in those moments, in those short breaks, you will refresh yourself so much. Okay. Do you have a meditation routine? Is there anything that you do, a particular pattern of things?
Yeah, it's real simple.
Okay.
Just as I put my feet on the ground in the morning, getting out of bed, I do a meditation on gratitude. It's very short. I'm there and thankful until I realize it's time to move on.
Yeah.
During the day, meditations, you forget to do it, but every now and then, usually daily, I meditate at stoplights.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, even with the contact work, I mean, during this weekend, after we got done inside, everybody's time to leave and go out. And then we did the sky cleared, and we did a short standing meditation, 3 or 4 minutes outside.
Right.
And boom, 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 the flashlights or flash bulbs are popping, and we're saying hi, and these are the interdimensionals. And, you know, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, that's pretty much what they are.
Yeah, they're interdimensional. Absolutely, sure.
I mean, there's no other explanation how you can, how you can do a meditation and then within seconds or a few short minutes, all of a sudden, these entities show up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you know, we know that there's far more beyond the three-dimensional, four-dimensional, you know, timescape that we're in.
Right.
So, you know, the key is to find that sweet spot, and I've been doing this since I was 17. That's going on almost 50 years now. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Well, you got some experience in the field, that's for sure.
yeah, you get good at it. It becomes easy. You know, can't always control everything when it comes to how you respond, but meditation helps.
It does, and a lot of your life is energy comes at you, and then you respond to it. So preparing yourself to respond is important. If you just go off all, you know, half crazy this way, half crazy that way, and you just rush out into the world, it's going to knock you around like a pinball.
Well, not only you, but it knocks other people around.
Yeah.
You know, if you're emanating anger or whatever, any of those negative inanimate spirits that we have to contend with, and you're doing a good job of projecting that, you're going to cause accidents. You're going to cause people to lose their feel, lose their shit. You know.
Sure.
And that's not good. And you shouldn't do that.
Well, you know, the ugliness, the people rioting and hurting each other, and all the yelling and screaming and all the pain, you know, in your Christ consciousness, you have to feel some passion for that person. If they're that upset, if they're that upside down, they probably bought an agenda of information with a group. B, they're hurting inside from themselves in their own life, and that, but there's a cohesiveness amongst the angry, but what it is they have decided to stay and play at this low, harsh vibration. They will have to leave that vibration at some time, or it will be their demise. So, and those of us that are, you know, not there, we're not that pissed off, we're not that angry, we're not that victimized. You know, we're trying to deal with what we're seeing. So, when we see that, we need to say to ourselves, wow, that guy really must be hurting, or oh, that lady really must be hurting, and then offer a prayer or an energy, or, you know, it's what the pacifist riot is all about. That's what the pacifism is all about, is having compassion for those very different from you, different goals in life currently or whatever. But you have to say, okay, I may not understand this person's feelings completely, but I can tell that they're hurting. I can tell that this isn't probably their normal operating energy. And those that are lost and hurt, they do need our prayers. They need the ability to touch back. And maybe they don't even know where it is. They don't even know, maybe they've never had it. So that's where our energy comes in. But don't but don't dedicate yourself to that. Give what you can give energy wise, but get back to you, and then start looking the other way. Start looking for things that are more harmonious. Even in the most miserable days, there's still many, many things to be grateful for. There is, your health, if you have it. We currently have clean air in most places. We currently have a convenient food supply in most places. So there's a lot of stuff to be grateful for. And gratitude, just a high level of gratitude, just makes so many other things happen so much easier in your life. My life is just a constant flow. I couldn't be happier with the way things are in my spirit. I'm fatigued by the outside world too, but for me handling it, I'm happy the way I'm handling it. I get bummed out, I get depressed, but then and that'll simmer for a little bit. I'll watch the doom porn there on all these rabbit hole sites, and this guy did this, and these people represented that, and this guy killed that guy, and these people are part of this club, and this and that and the other thing. As you're trying to connect the dots, and they're there, but it's fatiguing work. So I get to that point, and I literally have to put a lid on it, man. I have to put a lid on it. And I want to say thank you to a lot of the people that help me keep my thoughts together, sharing their personal words, and also information that they find. And I got some pretty good investigators, and of course Kat Carroll, man, she could, I need two heads to keep up with her, and I thank her so much for the information and the peace that she offers. She lets me know when I'm getting too far down the line. And my friends Donna and Caroline and Anne, and of course the beautiful Pamela, my friend Yvonne, really, really deep thinker, and of course my buddies Robert, Jeff, and Mike and Tom and Kevin. Thank you so much for all your love and the support that we give each other, sharing information, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So you get to this point where you realize I'm really full. I'm all worked up. I can't take any more of this. This load is starting to slip. I don't know how much longer I can carry this thing. Well, you're allowed to put it down, and you're allowed to take some stuff out of it, and you're allowed to leave it there. Dispose of it properly. Don't dump it in the street. I watched a documentary last night on YouTube. It's called Seattle is Dying. It's an hour long.
And it smells like 4-day-old salmon.
Yeah, man. I used to love Seattle. Seattle was so beautiful and sparkly. And this film was done last year. And man, the homeless situation there is out of control. A very, very liberal government there, and they just give and they give and they give, but there's no resolution. There's no issue. There's nothing's being fixed. They decriminalized misdemeanors, so people don't even get arrested for stealing bicycles, breaking into they don't get arrested for misdemeanor charges. They get scolded, or the cop looks at you while you're doing it. Some cops will still chase you down, but they were interviewing the policeman there, and they were saying that it's so frustrating. You waste 2 hours trying to get this guy arrested. He sleeps in the jail overnight. They let him go in the morning. And they have a huge drug problem out there. You got heroin, you got meth.
You know what gets me?
What gets you?
What gets me is this is absolutely the infrastructure and everything else, everywhere you look, There's no other country on the planet that's like this. The quality of life for the number of people is there's nothing that can equal it. And the people that are tearing it all down have probably never been elsewhere. And that's the problem, because they want to change this for something that they've never seen before and have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And you know something? If you're not willing to work to build it,
right,
it's not going to be worth, you know, your morning bowel movement. Okay?
You're exactly right, Mike. Travel does do so much for people. My friend Tom Rhodes, the most traveled man I've ever met, when he gets his passports.
Good name for the guy, Rhodes.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
Tom Rhodes is a brilliant comedian, fantastic human being. And he's traveled throughout the whole world, and he's seen so many governments, and he's seen so many lifestyles and conditions, and I'm sure it grieves him. He lives in Los Angeles, and there's riots and stuff on his street. You know, luckily he lives a few floors up, and he's looking down on all of it, and I hope he remains safe, and he's got his mom out there with him, which is, you know, it's good to have your mom.
Yeah, especially if she's got an AR-15.
I don't think they do.
Oh, okay.
But Tom's from Oviedo, outside of Orlando, and I think it might have been a little more comfortable to ride this out in Oviedo.
Yeah.
But okay, and the reason I brought that up was the low vibration thing. You know, when you're constantly dealing with all this struggle and all this strife, you know, that's why so many people are like, oh, I can't stand the drama, I can't take the drama. That's a very genuine feeling, not being able to take the drama. And if you get mad at the drama queens or drama kings in your life, that's okay. You don't have to put up with it. You know, those people do need to correct their behavior and start being accountable for their words, actions, deeds, and things that they do. The reason that they're drama kings, queens, princes, or princesses is because they're not happy with themselves, and they have to create a ruckus they only function well in chaos and confusion because they have not been enlightened enough to appreciate the peace, joy, tranquility, and serenity. If you look at the goals of every religion in the world, every sensible mindset, it does not send you in the direction of drama, pain, confusion, bullshit. That's not a goal. You can start there, but you have to start ascending. And the first big gold badge you get is accountability. When you get, my friend Frances, I can never repay her the debt. She taught me about victim accountability, and it literally was just one of the biggest, best things that I've ever learned from anybody. And it was a very, very hard part of our friendship, but she's a wonderful lady and taught me a lot. That victim accountability, I was there. Half of that stuff happened to me. I might have been wrong. I might have been dead wrong. I might have been so incredibly wrong. But I was there. And when you own that, it doesn't even matter how wrong you were, that gives you a point to build and grow from. Okay? But schlepping it off and blaming it on the other person or another piece of the scenario or the weather or what you were driving, you didn't have good shoes on, well, whatever. You got to stop that, man. And you made the mistake. You own it. Own it. Be a mistake maker. Okay? I am. So, you start there in that clearing of accountability, and you can move forward nicely with that. You can do really, really well. You'll grow a lot in your victim accountability stage. When a situation goes down and you go, wow, that was really unusual, that was really stressful, I didn't think that person would react that way. But then you got to go, you know what though? I was half of that situation. I was half of the words that were said. I was half of the ideas that were presented. I was half of the anger. I was half of the deceit. I was half of it, half of it, half of it. Sometimes more. Sometimes you're more than that. But being able to accept that, you can start fixing yourself, because you're the one that's going to do it in the end. You can listen to great psychiatrists. You can have helpful friends. You can read books. You can watch videos, documentaries. And there's many, many things that will help tune you up. Because when the words hit your ear, they enter in, they tickle a little part of your brain, and you count it as knowledge because it's congruent with what you're thinking or feeling at that time. And all that stuff changes over the years. But shoot for those more peaceful vibrations. Listen to a little more peaceful music or no music. But get that din out, man. Get that pain, the bad broadcast. Get all that stuff out away from you for periods of time. You need to know what's going on in your world. And the other thing is arguing online, arguing on Facebook. The reality of it is this group of people is arguing because they like that group of videos better than this group of people who happen to like this group of videos better. Okay? And that's what your online arguments are about. It's generally people just go, my videos were much more valid. You go, oh, your videos were very slanted. Oh, but the videos that you produce, whatever that is, man.
Yeah, welcome to life in Face Hive.
Yeah, the Face Hive.
Well, I'd like to, I know we're getting towards the end of the hour, and what I'd like to do is kind of shine some light here.
Yeah.
If you define yourself as a victim, you'll never grow out of your victimization.
Mm-hmm.
That's you forever. Or if you define yourself as a hero, you can move beyond it, and you can move beyond victimization, and that brings you beyond the din.
Yes, absolutely.
See?
That's very simple, and that's true, man.
My chestnut for the night.
That's a beauty. Would you repeat that one more time?
If you define yourself as a victim, you'll never grow out of it. If you define yourself as a hero, you can move beyond your victimization and beyond the din.
Yes. Okay, heroes. You got to find that little hero inside of you, I guess. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here nearly an hour, and Area 52, time always flies. Thank you for tuning in to the imho.love show. Really, my buddy Nathan, thank you for all the stuff you sent me this week too, buddy. You're a champ. And so, like I said, get away from it. Get away from the vibrations, get away from the crossfire of wavelengths, get away from the Wi-Fi for a while, take a walk on the beach. If you have woods near you, go do that. But get away either with friends, if you're lacking friends, or by yourself if you're constantly surrounded with people.
And if you like your friends, join the CE5 group.
You should join a CE5 group. Mike, what's the best website if somebody wants to find out about the CE5 program? What's the best website?
etletstalk.com, but there's a million have popped in the years that I've been doing this. It's gone from you can't find one to they're all over the place on Facebook, and you can also get Greer's application in the CE5 app, and it'll tell you where there are other people in your area where they're living and how to get in touch with them. Yeah,
Dr. Greer is kind of the pioneer of this human-initiated contact experience.
Yeah, he gets a lot of credit, but he doesn't get it all.
No.
So,
and on a more organic level, the kind of where we're at with it is author Celia Hatch. She's written a book called the CE5 Handbook, and that's a little bit more like our style, wouldn't you say? It's kind of a
but once again, until there's larger and larger groups that are more easily found, get the Greer app too. I don't think it costs anything, and Celia's book is free online.
Yeah.
She should charge for it, but she doesn't. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of spreading the word. Excuse me. And how to do this, so get it going. So we're going. It's the only way we're going to achieve world peace, because the traditional means of doing this are not working. People are still stuck in their egos. They need to learn how to get out of their ego. They need to learn how to pick better losers, better leaders. How's that for avoidance? Pick better losers. It's true though.
Pick better actors.
It's true though, for crying out loud. And then and we can move on from here. And it's going to take courage.
Yeah.
And you can't have courage by hiding from it.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you listening. Thank you for listening to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. That's Mike Murburg. Kathy McGuire is our producer. She puts the show up on YouTube, BitChute. There's a couple other formats too. Thank you so much. Please like it if you liked it, and please subscribe if you like, and feel free to share it.
Share it.
Yeah, share it. It's fun to listen to me and Mike while you're driving down the road. Got nothing to do, looking at cows.
Yeah, it's your celestial version of click and clack.
That's funny. That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. Don't let the bastards get you down. Don't listen to trolls. Just be your best self. And, like we always say here on the show, use your head, but trust your gut, and then your heart will reveal what is true. Thank you so much. Have a good week.
Peace, y'all.
Yeah. Here's a good book to read, too. Daniel Estelin, the Tavistock Institute. You'll understand why a lot of this stuff is happening to you. It's a brilliant synopsis. And here we go.